gave up their day job and is a continuous fight, but they are also a target 24/7. The United States, this was a part of an experts meeting with the ICRC. It was never meant for the public to find out, but of course they do, and of course the United States leapt on that and has been able to take these folks who are clearly civilians, in my mind, and refer to them as operating in a continuous combat function. We can get into that with a Q&A, perhaps, and then be able to target them. Okay. We talked a little bit about fully autonomous drones, which are presently only prohibited by Department of Defense directive. I am told that, in fact, we do have the capacity already to have fully autonomous drones, but we are required now to have someone still at the trigger. But I don't think we're very, well, we know we have them already. I don't think it's very far in the future that we will have a fully capacity to have fully autonomous drones, right? Which is to say a drone is sitting up there for 30 or 60 days. It runs the scenery through the scenes it's picking up through its algorithms, makes its own decision as to who constitutes being a terrorist. By the way, a terrorist is not a legal term, it's a political term. Terrorist act is a legal term. That's different. And then can fire its missiles or whatever it chooses to do with no one, quote, responsible, which is a deep concern for anyone, not just you folks. It would be a deep concern of anyone in the military that there's nobody on the trigger, nobody potentially responsible. So in terms of U.S. legality, I'm almost finished here. I'm concerned about the president's kill list, right? It came to light mostly for us in the al-Awlaki killing. Himself, who was a naturalized U.S. citizen, a week later, his Denver-born U.S. son who was killed by drones. I think that's a red herring. All of a sudden we got concerned because it was a U.S. citizen. I'm sorry, folks. That doesn't matter very much to me. The very fact is, I'm concerned about al-Awlaki and well, less with al-Awlaki. He's not a particularly sympathetic character, but clearly concerned about his son, right, who was basically at a campfire celebrating with his friends his return back to the United States. At least that's one of the stories that has come out of that. My deep concern is that this list has no due process. There is not even so much as a federal grand jury indictment that is going along with this. My colleague and friend, Gary Solus, a retired colonel who wrote my favorite textbook on the topic, who is a former professor at West Point, he and I sat for 4 hours at the American Red Cross cafeteria in Washington trying to come up with some kind of way in which you could put together a legal kill list. We went through every permutation to representatives from the Supreme Court, all this other kinds of stuff, and we finished our 4-hour exercise and we looked at it and went, the problem is, none of this is legal, right? And so what we have here is a president, or Obama, engaging in extrajudicial killing. It doesn't matter whether the person is a U.S. citizen or a non-U.S. citizen. Finally, we referred to passing that there is a memo on this. An OLC, Office of Legal Counsel, the lawyers, the elite lawyers. This is the same group who brought you the torture memo, the Baidu torture memo. So we have no access to this legal memorandum that supposedly gives the President of the United States the legal ability to use drones in the manner he has done so. It's secret. I don't know what to do with a secret legal memo, right? As a lawyer, as a professor of law, as an ethicist, I, of course, become immediately suspicious. And if you want to see something that unites both sides of the aisles, Republicans and Democrats, the fact that this memo stays secret is a concern on both sides. Finally, the effect on terrorism. Here's the problem. Leadership gets replaced, and the process had a 50-to-1 on average now that we know, 50-to-1 collateral damage. For every target that we hit, 50 innocents die. Okay? Is that an acceptable collateral rate? We can talk about collateral damage and how that works and how that works within the law. But here's the issue. When we target these folks who are fairly secretive in their movements, but they only come out usually in public for 2 events. Anybody want to figure out or guess what these 2 major events they come out for so that we can target them?
Weddings and funerals?
Funerals. There's a good place to strike right? So that you get your target, but you will kill the entire wedding party, or you kill everybody who's come to the funeral. So we wind up killing our person on our kill list, the known terrorist, whatever you may think of the legal process that we got to that, which is shaky at best. We have just made, we have made lifelong enemies of everyone there who has survived the attack. I don't think we have accomplished anything, right? So, again, I don't have a problem with drones as a weapons system. You might, I don't. I have significant problems in the way that it is presently being used, and unfortunately what I think the future may bring for us in the use of drones. Thanks.